Good morning, gamers. Welcome back to the Full Grip. We're on our free-to-play budget to Mythic account. This is going to be day 2. We got 10 days left in the season. Currently bronze 4 with 4 little tick markers. Hopefully we get some good wins and rank up today. We're still using the mono blue deck. Probably going to use that all the way out of bronze. Just a quick little deck tech, little reminder. We're still using the mono blue. We have the Ledger Shredder for our card filtering. It does get bigger as well. It does become a threat. Haunting Djinn is going to be our big win con. Tolarian Terror is going to stop mono red and get some damage on the ground. Flow of Knowledge for card draw. Thirst for Discovery, Impulse, and Consider. Those are all going to be our card draw advantage spells, as well as instant and sorceries in the graveyard to make Haunting Djinn bigger and Tolarian Terror smaller. Tolarian Terror costs less. And then we have our protection spells: Fading Hope, Shore Up, Slip Out the Back, and March of the Swirling Mist. So it's a pretty steady deck. Yesterday we had some blunders on our end as far as missing damage, missing free cards. Hopefully we clean that up today, and prefer not to come across any mono red or mono black, as black is what this deck struggles against. But let's get into the games. Standard rank play, best of 1. All right, the Full Grip mono blue. We're going against Brandon 3145. Opponent goes first. We do have the 2 mana with the Ledger Shredder to keep and a protection spell. Hopefully we draw into another land, and then we can start things rolling. Looks like mono red aggro. We're going to take some damage here in the beginning of the game. Hopefully the Ledger Shredder absorbs some of that damage for us. He is a good blocker, being a 1/3. The only way to kill him is a lightning strike or a block and an additional spell. Let that resolve. He's going to get a whole bunch of... yeah, we're not letting that damage through because that's too big. We'll get rid of a knowledge so that we can actually tap him. We're going to hold off on the Shredder because we do need to be able to protect it. And I'm probably going to Fading Hope if the Swift Spear either gets big or they're not going to lay down the adversary. Alright. Didn't see that one coming. Take that. I'll take 4. That's fine. Squeeze gonna stay. Alright, so we got the Ledger Shredder. So we got blockers now with protection. And if he casts 2 spells, then we actually get our trigger as well. So there's 1 that can resolve. 1 damage to me. Trigger. I get my resolve. I get my draw. Another Ledger Shredder. Let's get rid of a terror. We connive, so now we're a good blocker. And now he's stuck on attacks. Yeah. He either has to attack with multiple people and give up one of his actual creatures and not get the token in future turns. Yeah, he can't decide. So this is a good combat where combat math comes into play. This is where mono red struggles. because he can either attack and lose one of his actual creatures that have benefits, or he can hold back and wait till his army's wide and swing in that way. So I'm going to resolve. He's going to get a dude. I don't want him to have that back yet. So I'm going to block Squee and send her back. I'm gonna ditch that because he needs to stay on the battlefield. Haunty Jin's big too. We'll do Haunty Jin. We don't need to worry about card advantage or card filtering. We have to worry about shoring up the ground game and blocking. Because again, if he casts 2 spells, we also get the trigger. It's not just me. So there's 1 spell. So if he casts Squee, that's fine. There's a 2nd spell. Perfect. Let's get rid of the other Shredder. Make him bigger, so he'll be able to block the Swift Spear. But we don't get it on a 3rd trigger, so... Now the Bloodthirsty Adversaries, it's tough for me because he has these pump spells in the graveyard, and I don't want him to have those back. And I think he didn't have to give up there. I think he could have stayed and fought it because these are going to turn into spells. Of course, I had fun. So we got a Bronze 3 rank up there, so that's awesome. I do want to come back to this battlefield. These are going to turn into creatures. So he can go wide. There's no issues there. He doesn't have to give up. He has Squee the next turn if he likes, and whatever card he has in hand. Granted, I don't know if he knows that we have the 2 other creatures, and I'm not going to kill the Bloodthirsty Adversary. I'm going to let that stay on the battlefield because I don't want him to have the pump spells. So... he could have played it out, hopefully drew into some bigger cards, but looks like he decided to give that up early, which is unfortunate on his end, but hey, I'll take it. Look at that, guys. Bronze 3. Let's rank up. All right, the full grip. We're playing Mono Blue versus Magico 44. I would say this is the perfect hand. We go first, 3 mana. We can curve out with still being able to protect Haunty Jin. Looks like we got a mulligan on the opponent's end. Can't decide what he wants. Now, depending on what colors the opponent plays, will depict on if Ledger Shredder comes out on 2 or 3. Because we have to protect it. Green, let's put it out on 2. Now, if he follows that up with black, that's unfortunate because sacrifice spells. But if he just runs mono green, we'll take it all day. A big doofus to block. I'm not too worried about kill spells, not too worried about... not too worried about any type of buffs or anything of that nature. Because eventually we'll get a Fading Hope and just bounce it back to its hand. And the Fading Hope isn't a... it's not a kill spell, it's a bounce spell. So all these counters that he's going to get He's gonna lose either way. And if he does have additional smaller spells to eventually pump the Beast Caller, we're gonna get card filtering with Ledger Shredder, and I'm completely fine with that. Some more additional counters for him. Hopefully that's not a big one he puts underneath him. So I want to bounce him before he gets 7. So I'm going to block here. It's going to go to damage. I'm going to phase my guy out so that he doesn't die. But I'm also going to get the +1/+1 and an additional 1 from the card being in the graveyard. We don't take the damage, it nullifies combat, and we're back into it. So I'm gonna swing with everybody. I don't have a reason to hold back. I'm technically in the lead for the race, technically, until he gets his additional counters. But I can always March of the Swirl Mist and nullify his combat. I can nullify the counter too if I wanted. If I plan on doing that, I should do it now. I'm gonna do both creatures so he can't target either one. And I want to say it's only creatures he controls. So he doesn't get the counter, so it's going to hold us off for another turn. No combat. So I'm really winning this race now. I have 6 damage on board. I'll be quite ahead. Let's attack. I am going to put this guy out just so that I have an additional blocker if needed. And then that also keeps me a card for filtering if he decides to cast multiple spells. The good thing is he doesn't have any reach yet. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 on board. I'm probably going to cast the Shore Up now. So that's one spell. I'm not going to get the trigger. I'll get the triggers, but I won't get the card advantage because I don't have anything. I'll have to discard it either way. He must be holding another kill spell or a pump, which we could take the pump all day. That doesn't matter. And no blocks. We take 8 and we'll swing in for lethal next turn. So it's another win. Bronze 3, 2 marks. It's a pretty good game. He didn't have much interaction on his end, so we kind of had free reign to just put our guys out there and attack. And this type of deck, we have to get the little bit of damage in where we can, because we're going to win. If it's a close game, we're going to win really close. Alright, the full grip are playing mono blue versus straight fleece 7. Opponent goes first. We don't have any early creatures, but we do have Impulse and Thirst. This can get us our second land. This can get us our third land, and then by then we can put the Tillarian Terror out. Fading Hope can buy us time if we're going to be playing something like mono red. Cool. Bant. And we did draw the Haunting Djinn, so we don't have to do anything too early. Alright, so this is going to be a toxic deck, which means we have to go pretty fast. Ivy's an amazing creature. Ivy's going to be pretty hard to handle. We need this land. The hardest part for these toxic decks is getting their first damage down. Once they get their first damage down, then it becomes a big issue. Shredder. How many does he have? 4. Djinn first. The option was Shredder with Protection Spell, but this does phase out, so we won't be able to block that hard. So we're taking two toxic there, because they do copy each other. All he wants is to keep Ivy on the field, and I'm completely fine with that, because whenever I swing in, he's gonna have to come around. He'll eventually have to block. I'm gonna attack here. I don't think we have to worry about too much removal on our side. So here's gonna be the Thirst to get another card in. In the graveyard. I'm going to keep the land, and I'm going to discard the Slip Out the Back and the Sure Up. The reason why is I don't have mana to protect either way, and the Impulse gives me better options later as far as card draw. 6 damage in the air. And I'm keeping the land for the Ledger Shredder's activation. Okay, what does this frog do? Okay. I did not know this frog has that. Okay, because it copied. Gotcha. Alright. So I need damage. This will come out for 1. This will block any toxic on the floor. So, and I can only block 1. Let's do this. This will be our second spell. So my thought is, if I stay alive this turn, I could swing in for lethal next turn with the Djinn and another creature. So let's get rid of Impulse. Let's get rid of Flow, because I can't cast it. I was really hoping that would have been a spell. Let's swing here. Swing for 8. If he blocks, he blocks. If he doesn't, we're fine. I want him to block because then that gives us... He has to block with the Spell Thief. That's gonna be enough right there anyways. Yeah, good game on the opponent. That frog's a good one. Might have to add that to what I got going on my other account. The toxic aspect of the deck makes it hard for us because we can't Fading Hope their creatures because it still triggers. So it's kind of a race. It's just whoever can race faster. Alright. We go first. No creature. No draw spells. So we'll mulligan that one. We'll take this one. We'll probably get rid of the Thirst. Because we need the Haunty-Djinn as a creature in case he plays something aggressive. And then the Impulse can find us the third land if we don't draw it. So that's good. See what we're playing against. Blue red. Is it so far? Mountain. Alright. So maybe it's, is it Wizards? Could be. He basically has prowess. I don't know why they don't call it prowess in that sense, but we'll take the Ledger Shredder and we'll put him down just so we can get that card filtering started. Hopefully he casts the 2 spells. I'm probably gonna Fading Hope the infantry once he gets some counters on him, or if something's lethal. Look at the top 6 cards. May reveal the spell. That's fine. Let's see what spell he takes. They must be some good options, taking him a little bit of time to decide what he wants to do. No reveal? He has to reveal it, right? You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card. So maybe he didn't hit anything. That's interesting. Land Djinn. We win this combat, so I'm going to attack. If he blocks, that's great. He dies. The Mondering Wine dies. If not, 1 free damage. Whenever we're going against these red burn decks, you have to get the damage in where it's safe. Yeah, I'll take 1 on the backside, maybe 2. I'll resolve that. Play with fire is only 2 damage, so I'll take that. Another spell. So that's both his reds. We'll get rid of Fading Hope so that we can get a counter. He can get that. I will slip out the back. Phase out. That fizzles. We get the +1. We're winning on board. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the island down, Flow of Knowledge, and look for, definitely Flow of Knowledge, and look for another Fading Hope. which we got. Perfect. I'm going to get rid of Thirst and the Consider. So we'll attack here for big. He's probably going to have to chump or not take any blocks. And then I'll Fading Hope on his infantry next turn. Wandering Mind yet again. Whiffed again, huh? Maybe he's not playing it right. Maybe he's not drawing what he needs to. With him only having one card and not finding anything with either of his Wandering Minds, we pretty much have this in the bag. It's just a matter of playing it out. Because I can Fading Hope 1. We can take that. I'll Fading Hope 1 now, because he doesn't have enough to cast it. There's another Fading Hope, so I'll cast that second one on this turn, and we come in for lethal. That doesn't matter. And there's lethal. Boom. Nice and quick. That's a very good example of how these tempo decks work. You can bounce creatures back, protect your creatures, make them big with the card draw and filtering systems. And then just with the amount of instants and sorceries in the discard pile, Haunty Djinn is just so big. So that's Bronze 3, 4 marks. Alright guys, looks like we're going to call it here today. We did have some pretty good matches. We ranked up to Bronze 3 with our first win. Unfortunately, we did lose to the Bant tokens, which or Bant Toxic, which that frog, I'm gonna have to look into that, because that deck itself, I believe you only need 8 rares to build, and it is pretty competitive. But then we did beat Is It Wizards right at the end there to get to our final rank. Outside of that, it was a pretty good showcase of how the deck works, how you protect yourself, and then also make room for lethal with the Fading Hopes clearing the board at the end of the day. Because again, the biggest thing with playing with these mono blue tempo deck is to not miss lethal. And I'll see you guys next time.